Hi, Naomi Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health. If you're watching, let me know if you can hear, because last time I did this, the microphone wasn't working. So give me a little wave if you can hear this, because I don't want to do another video and nobody can hear me. So, is your support system making you sick? Now, this is a really sensitive topic for me, because when I was really sick, I didn't realize it at the time, but I wasn't getting what I needed in my home. I had my parents who were very supportive of me, and two of my friends. They both offered me some help, but other than that, I was living in a house with really high stress levels. I would go to the doctor and come back and I wouldn't get any love, empathy, sympathy or support. I would get, a doctor telling me that I was depressed or anxious, or I needed to see a psychologist, I needed to see or go on medication. And when I would come home, I would get, why aren't you listening to the doctor? They know better than you do. And I want to squash that, because nobody knows you better than you do. Nobody knows your health better than you do. When you are feeling really stressed because you're not getting the help from the medical profession that you should be getting, when you come home, you want someone to say, regardless of what they think, don't worry, I'm here for you, we will get through this, instead of yelling at you and making you feel so much worse. When I was, calling ambulances at the middle of the night thinking I was having a heart attack, I was doing that, I was calling my mum. She was coming here at midnight to support me because I wasn't getting that in the home. And over the years, I didn't realize that the stress of all of this happening was coming from within my own home, and it was prolonging my healing. When you are living in a fight or flight state because you're not getting that support, which your support system, relates to your root chakra. If you're not feeling supported, that's going to be out of balance. The root chakra being your first chakra that you start to heal with, it's going to put all of the other chakras all the way up out of balance as well. So my emotions were high. I felt like I wasn't allowed to invest in anything for my healing, because it wasn't portrayed as something really important. I wanted to try new things, and that wasn't really supported either. So when you are living with somebody who is making you feel like you're going crazy, then you possibly will go crazy. So it is super important to find a support system that will empathize with you. And I know it's not always that easy to just leave a home. Like, I was really sick, so I couldn't, all I wanted to do was leave at the time, but I couldn't, because I was so sick. I didn't think that I could support my children financially. I wanted to keep the house, all of those things. And even talking through these things with this person didn't help. It just made them more angry at me and resentful. And, they would go out and leave me with the children, even while I was really sick. So just because we don't have an illness that we can physically see, or because something like cancer is very much portrayed as a deadly illness, and it is, doesn't mean autoimmune disease isn't serious. It can kill people. I felt like it was killing me. I felt like I was dying. But when you don't get that support, how do you drag yourself up and continue to keep going when somebody's constantly squashing you, putting you down, keeping you down here? I felt like I had a ball and chain on me because I'm trying to, get better. And all it was somebody was just dragging me down, telling me I was wrong, it wasn't happening. Not, I'm a researcher, and if one of my friends, or I'm a sharer, if one of my friends has something wrong, I'm going getting it for them. I'm helping them out. But to have the person in your home not doing that is super stressful. And like I said, you can't always get away from that. So my drive, my passion, my strength all kept me going to try and get out of that situation. That is why I got better. I'm lucky I am a very mentally strong person, and I don't like being sick at all. So I kept going. And it was a fight a lot of the time because I would invest some money into my health, essential oils, for example, and I would get, why are you spending money on that? So it's a very, very stressful state. So I want to create support systems for women that are going through the same thing, who can be supported by each other, because it's really hard for other people to empathize when they don't know how it feels. If you don't, you don't want to go out, you don't want to socialize, you don't feel like it, you don't have the vitality. Like, even when I was smiling and happy, I just wasn't, I just couldn't get it across to people. And I started to not become myself. Even if I went out, I was the quiet person in the corner. That's not me. I am a very social person, and I love to dance and sing and, have great times. Please excuse my beetroot fingers. But I became somebody else. I withdrew, and I didn't want to go out, and I didn't want to socialize with people. So I am going to create support systems for women where we can get together and support each other and go through and unpeel those, undo those layers, and show that we are there for each other and share our stories with each other. Because I think it's really important. Because I started, I went into a women's circle as part of my healing journey. I thought, you know what? And I didn't know these women. I knew one woman in the circle, and that was the best support I ever got from anybody other than my mum and dad. Those women, I didn't hardly know them, but when I shared my stories, the way they held me and empathized and gave me healing practices and the courage to keep going, and the support that I got was more than any support I got from anybody that I really knew. So that's why I want to create these spaces, because everybody has something to heal from a lot of the time. So it might not be an autoimmune disease, but it might be trauma, it might be cancer, it might be whatever it is. And I want to create this space so we can support each other, give each other tips and practices, and be there for each other, so we don't feel like nobody understands us and nobody's there for us, and we don't feel so alone and disconnected from people. I want to reconnect people and open up an absolute healing space for people, because women's circles was an integral part of my healing. And I didn't know it at the time, but I look back now and it was huge for me. We worked through a lot of stuff. These were circles that actually worked through things. We didn't just get online and talk about what we did on the weekend or anything like that. We unplugged a lot of stuff. There were topics of discussion each week, which is what I want to do, all related to healing. So I want to dive in and share with you what I got out of support systems. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to create support systems for you guys so that you're not alone, and it's a safe space. You can share whatever you want to share and not feel judged, and be completely supported. So let me know in the comments, are you somebody who needs that support? Do you feel understood? Do you feel like you're alone? Pop it in the comments, or just acknowledge that you understand what it was that I was going through. It was extremely impossible to get to where I needed to go, because I just felt like I had a weight on my shoulders. I knew what I needed to do physically, but the emotional side of healing was so stagnant because of what I was going through. So I want to try and prevent that for a lot of you. And you might be living in a toxic environment, you might not be. You might be getting support at home, but sometimes you might need support of people who are there in their illness and who can help you with some of the tools that they've used. So watch this space for support systems. They are going to be coming here, and we are all going to be here for each other. So let me know if it's something that you would love to dive into. Do you want to have a support system with other people like me? I will be hosting them. So, I know where you're at. I know how you feel, and I know how to get you to the next level of healing through the support systems. I've done it. So let me know in the comments. Any comments that you have, put in. I'd love to know. But watch this space for the support healing circle, really.